the choice is between two older men, two octogenarians, give or take. In the UK, the Prime Minister and the Labour Party leader are from a much younger generation, and yet the voters don't seem much more enthused. The UK general election is only days away. It's expected to be a disaster for Rishi Sunak and his Conservative Party. Roughly 20% points behind with Labour and 6 days to go. 42. I mean, this is, well, we'll find out in a second. These are the numbers with the interesting one, reform. We're going to be talking about that. Keep an eye on that number as well. And my next guest is regarded, quite rightly, as one of Britain's most trusted election gurus. It's Sir John Curtice, the politics professor at the University of Strathclyde, senior fellow at the National Centre of Social Research. How bad's it going to be for the Tories, Sir John?
That's the question to which, to be honest, at least in terms of seats, we don't know the answer. We know two things. One is that their support is very low and that they've actually gone backwards during the election campaign rather than forward. And it looks as though they're heading for, but easily, their worst share of the vote. The uncertainty lies in how much the electoral geography of Conservative support is going to change. One of the things that the big mega polls have picked up that they're trying to predict the outcome in terms of seats is that support for the Conservatives seems to be falling more heavily in places that they're trying to defend. And that, of course, if that is what happens, that is really bad news under the first-past-the-post electoral system, because it simply means you are going to lose more seats than would otherwise be the case. And that's the reason why some of these polls have been anticipating very low numbers of seats for the Conservatives indeed.
And we're going to see cabinet ministers lose their seats.
Oh, yeah.
And there were some suggestions the Prime Minister might even, which would be somewhat remarkable in his constituency, where they just weighed the vote.
Indeed, but there was ones where they were suggesting that things for the Conservatives could be particularly bad in their safer seats, that the Prime Minister might lose. But I mean, there are two basic reasons why we have this expectation. One is, Conservative support, according to the polls, is down nearly 25 points. There are about 100 constituencies where they don't have 25% of the vote to lose from last time. So they must be losing more elsewhere. And the second is the impact of reform, which is particularly sharp in constituencies where the Conservatives are defending, because the Reform Party's predecessor, the Brexit Party, did not contest Conservative-held constituencies in 2019.
So is it likely that reform gets enough first-past-the-post system to get seats, or just completely spoils it for the Tories to allow even Labour to have an even bigger majority?
Yeah, reform will primarily be playing a spoiling role because their problem, again, it's electoral geography. Their vote is expected to be relatively evenly spread, and if you're getting about 16% of the vote, then the truth is that you're not going to pick up very many seats. In contrast, the Democrats, who will get fewer votes than them, look as though they may do very well this time because their vote's very heavily concentrated and they're going up, seemingly, in the places that the Tories are trying to defend against them.
We've got three great elections going on. You've got the US, you've got the French, there are others, of course, and the UK. Yeah. But they have the UK and the US both have a version of first past the post in terms of the electoral college. Yeah. The French have a very different system.
Well, it's also ultimately first past the post. It's just that you have two ballots before you get there. They're all majoritarian systems. None of them are using proportional representation.
Except the Europeans, and what was interesting there is the same sort of trend is seen, even if you use first Parliament.
Well, I mean, we can argue about whether or not Nigel Farage's Reform Party is a far-right party or not. It's clearly at the more socially conservative end, and to that extent, at least, there is a seeming similarity with Europe, although just bear in mind, whereas in Europe, it's often younger people who are voting for the far-right, here it's definitely older people who are voting for reform.
Do you see any similarities between what in the UK and the US at the moment, other than an electorate that's added?
Well, we've been looking at the similarity for quite a while. So in the US, issues about morality, religion, abortion, etc. are central. Now, not all of those issues are central here, but issues about empire, transgender people, immigration, which became a big issue in the States, which are all about whether you're a social conservative or a social liberal. There are aspects of our politics and aspects of the United States which in both countries, those kinds of issues have become more important in our politics.
Very grateful to have you, sir. Thank you very much indeed.